Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make some 45-pound concrete weight plates. Now, I had a couple goals here when I was making these. First goal was to make it look as legit as possible, as close to an Olympic weight plate, 45-pound Olympic weight plate that I possibly could. That goal, I think, has been achieved. Second goal was to make it a little bit thicker than a 45-pound Olympic weight plate might be, because I wanted to maintain some integrity and strength with the concrete. So I think it's a good thickness to maintain strength and integrity. It could probably withstand some small drops from deadlift, which you really shouldn't be doing with concrete anyway. One of the other main goals was that I wanted it to be replicable, so that anyone that's watching this video could make this plate if they follow these simple steps. I didn't really realize that was my goal until I kind of got almost to the end of this process, but that was kind of something I had in my head the whole time. So I make a lot of mistakes and a lot of errors throughout this whole process to try and figure out exactly what you need to do to make a 45-pound plate and make it replicable, so that anyone watching this video can go to the store, buy this bucket, buy this PVC, buy this concrete mix, come home, cut it, pour it, and you've got an exact 45-pound plate without having to do any of the guesswork, without having to do any of the measuring and changing. So I in total make 6 plates in this video. I still have to make one more 45-pound plate to match the one that I made that actually is 45 pounds. There's a lot of things that you can make mistakes on, lots of small errors and mistakes. However, if you want to just get the simple recipe, here it is. 1, buy this bucket. 2, buy this PVC pipe. 3, buy this concrete mix. 4, get some kind of liquid barrier that you can put down underneath the PVC, whether that's like Vaseline. I used liquid latex so that the water doesn't seep into the middle of the PVC pipe while it's curing. That's the basic recipe. However, I highly suggest that you watch this video all the way through so that you can figure out all the different little mistakes that you can make along the way, because there's still places that you can mess up. That being said, I hope all the mistakes that I made you can learn from, so that you don't make those same mistakes. And I think you'll find it pretty easy once you watch this video, and you'll be pretty confident that you can make a 45-pound plate your first try, and not really have to worry about making all the same errors and mistakes that I did. So with all that being said, let's get into the video, and I'm going to show you how to make some 45-pound concrete weight plates. Okay, so step 1 for us is going to be cutting our PVC pipe to length. We're going to be cutting ours to 2.5 inches, and we know it's 2.5 inches because we went into calculator.net already and did our calculations. So at a 16.5 inch diameter with a 2.5 inch width, that's going to get us to just about 45 pounds exactly. I'll be using a scale to fine tune that as we're going through the process, but that's our good rough estimate for the width we need to get to the weight we want. I've gone through calculator.net and a couple other videos. Basically all you need to do is put in your measurements, so your diameter, your width, and then the 1-inch hole in the middle to make it a concrete cylinder. And then it'll give you your cubic inches of that cylinder, and then you find out what that cubic inches of concrete would weigh and do your fine-tune adjustments there. That's so hard to explain, but it's pretty simple once you're actually looking at it. I'll link the other videos so that you can go back and look at those. There we go. 2.5 inch PVC pipe centers. Okay, the next step is going to be mixing your concrete. There's really no easy or fun way to do this. I got this egg beater mixer because I'm lazy. You could mix it with a shovel, you could mix it with your hands. It doesn't really matter. You just got to get it mixed up somehow. We're gonna center our PVC pipe in here, which is pretty easy because it's got that dot in the middle, so pretty easy to center that. And then what we're gonna do is pour our concrete all around it, make sure this stays in place, and then we're gonna let it cure overnight. I got a little lazy there with dumping it in, but I can feel that the center is right here. So I know we're still centered. Okay, so we're at about 42 pounds right now. We're going to bring it up to 47 pounds because you lose about 3 to 5% of the weight of the concrete when it cures. So we're gonna aim for 47, which is 2 pounds over, which is almost 5%. And then hope it cures to just about 45. So we'll do 47 for both plates. Okay, so we're at 47 pounds right now, which is a good thing because we're just about toppling over the PVC pipe, which means we got really accurate with the cut. So with the next one, I'm just gonna fill it up to the top of the PVC pipe and call it good. We'll let this one cure overnight. I'm gonna kind of give it a nice little jiggle and level out the top of the surface. Make sure that you cure it on a level surface so that it cures the same width on every edge of that weight plate. And we'll see how it looks in the morning. Alright, it's been curing for 48 hours now. I'm gonna try and take it out of the mold. Hopefully it's pretty easy. I was doing an experiment. I did this one without trying to oil up the sides or put any kind of releasing agent on the outside of it, just to see how easy it would be to get out of this bucket mold. If it's difficult, for the next one I'll try and oil up the sides and see what kind of difference that makes. There we go. Wow, that's beautiful. It came out beautifully. It's so smooth. It's got this nice beveled edge. It just looks really legit compared to the 50 pounders that I made before. Super happy with how this came out. One thing we need to do though is actually measure the weight, see how accurate we got to 45 pounds. Okay, so it looks like we're at 43, which is pretty disappointing. I thought we were going to be a lot closer to 45. I thought it was going to be within like a half pound or so, but that's okay. As long as we make the other side the same weight, they'll still be good for benching. We just need to make sure that both sides of the bar are the same weight. Okay, so the next step is going to be painting 45s onto the face and onto the back, even though that's actually a lie and it's 43. I don't know. That's really all that matters. I'm going to cast the second one, which is the same length PVC pipe, so it'll also end up being 43 pounds. I'll have two 43-pound weight plates, and then I think I'll probably actually try 2 more after that to see how close I can get to 45 by making the PVC pipe just a little bit longer. I realize now, I literally just realized right now why my calculations were off, because I was calculating a 1-inch PVC pipe when this is actually a 2-inch PVC pipe, because the dumbbells were 1-inch PVC pipes. So 1 more inch of concrete would have gotten us that 2 pounds. So that's pretty sad to realize. That's okay, next time. Okay, something's been bugging me. The fact that this is supposed to be a 45-pound plate and it's a 43-pound plate, and it's just been eating at me, and I needed to know where that weight went. So I started measuring the plate. We wanted a 2.5-inch width. Okay, we're a 1/16 inch over that, so that should add a little extra weight. Should be a little bit heavier than 45. We needed a 16.5-inch diameter. So measuring from one end to the other, that's 16.5, if not a little bit more. And if I measure from one side to the other over here, 17 inches, because of how the bucket angles up. So it's wider than it should be. The diameter is a little bit longer than it should be. So those should both add weight. We should be at like, I don't know, 47 pounds, 46 pounds. Who knows? It would add a little bit, right? Right. However, the bucket mold, which I really like, that creates this nice shape, is giving us an 1/8 of an inch indent, 13 inches across the plate. So this indent, combined with the fact that I calculated a 1-inch hole instead of 2-inch because I was still thinking about when I made the dumbbells, is where our missing weight is. It's not easy to spot because it's just such a small indent, but the fact that it covers such a large portion of the face, along with the 2-inch hole instead of the 1-inch hole, is exactly 3 pounds, basically. So we would have been over probably like a half pound, maybe a little bit more, if not for this indent, and if I had calculated for the 2-inch hole. But I'm glad I figured it out. Now I don't have to think about it anymore. Okay, so this has been curing for about 3 days now. I'm gonna take it out of the bucket, we're gonna weigh it. Hopefully it's 43 pounds, just like the other one. And then after that, I'm gonna cut some new PVC pipe to get us the length we need to get to exactly 45 pounds, hopefully. We'll see. She's a beaut. New one. Well, they're both exactly 42. Okay, so we've got our initial set done. That ended up being 42 pounds once they were cured. So taking that into account, I did some new calculations, also taking into account the indent on the bottom of the bucket and the 2-inch diameter hole where the bar is going to be going through. And according to those new calculations, along with the fact that we know that those were 42 pounds once they completely cured, we want to make a cut between 2 5/8 and 2 9/16. So I'm going to mark right between those two markings, make a cut as accurate as I can, and I'll pour it and cross our fingers that it's going to be exactly 45 pounds. We're just about there. We're at about 9/16, so hopefully that's gonna get us, that one's perfect. Hopefully that's gonna get us exactly where we need to be. This is what it can do to your drill. This has happened pretty much every time I've mixed concrete. Okay, so as you can see, it's just about overflowing into the center of the weight plate, so I'm going to stop there. I was planning on weighing this bucket to see what our weight is at, because it was at 47 the first time we tried this, so I was hoping to be at like 49.50 this time, but I think if I pick it up, it's all going to flow into the center of that tube, so I'm just going to let it sit and see what we're at tomorrow, or the next day really when it cures. I'll give it 2 days to cure. Because it seems to lose a little bit of weight even on that second, maybe third day. Okay, the time has come. It's been curing for 3 days now. I'm gonna pop it out of the mold, we're gonna weigh it, and we're gonna cross our fingers that we're at exactly 45 pounds. I'm gonna guess it's not. Wow. So I was kind of doing a drop test on it also, just to see if it would be fine to land flat on this rubber mat, and I was like 95% sure that it was going to be perfectly fine just dropping from a height of 1.5 feet onto a rubber mat, but I guess I overestimated the strength of the concrete when it's only cured for 3 days and the curing has been slow because the temperature is a lot lower. So, this is what happens. Drop test, 3-day cure, flat onto a rubber mat, fail. Okay, so this 45 plate has been curing for about 4 or 5 days just because I've been a little bit busy. I think it should be really close to 45 because I piled up the concrete on this until it was just about to just burst over that PVC pipe. I got as much concrete in here as I could. I tried to make it not anywhere near as watery as I made the last one because I think that also added a little bit to why the weight was off, because it was a little too watery and that water weight kind of evaporated more and decreased the weight when it actually cured a little more than normal. So I made sure to be really conscious about not adding too much water to this concrete when I was making it as well. So we're going to take it out of the mold, we're going to see how close we got to 45 and see how it looks. Okay, so maybe I didn't make it watery enough. There's a little gap here. And I swear I pressed in everywhere I could. I can fill that gap in actually with a little bit of concrete, so that's not a big issue. As long as this is centered, that's the main thing. Okay, so it's actually really smooth all around, which is nice. It's been curing for a while, so this side won't take too long to dry out and cure more like the top side that was exposed to the air. But the real question is, how much does it weigh? Let's find out. Moment of truth. I hate myself. 42 pounds again. I've never had this much trouble with any of the other concrete plates that I've made. And here is what I think is happening. We got our bucket, right? Got our PVC insert, right? When it's going in here, there are tiny gaps between the PVC and the bottom of this bucket. Now I've noticed that when it's curing, water will pool inside this PVC pipe. And that's not something that's ever happened before. And I think what's happening is that's water that wouldn't be evaporating. It would be curing and becoming integrated into that concrete. And it's a significant amount. It's almost filled this whole PVC pipe up every time I've done it in this bucket. So I think what I need to do is seal the bottom of this PVC pipe with some simple sealant that won't glue, Vaseline or something like that, some kind of lotion or something, so that water doesn't seep into the middle of this PVC pipe while it's curing, because I think that water weight is where we're losing this weight. So all in all, we're going to seal the PVC pipe on the bottom where it's touching the bucket so that the water doesn't leak into the PVC pipe and it gets integrated into the concrete. And that might give us the extra couple pounds we need to get where we need to be. It's getting pretty old making these. Although it's nice because I've got 42s that match now, which is cool. But I really want to get a 45. Each time I take it out of the bucket, I'm just crossing my fingers. And it hasn't worked out yet, but it's going to. I just need to get another couple bags of concrete. And another few days of waiting for curing. Okay, so now we're on our 5th attempt, and I am done eyeballing it. I am trying to actually measure everything accurately to rule out any kind of error in our weight, rule out any kind of discrepancies. So I'll show you what we're starting with. Our 2-inch PVC pipe that we've been using on the calculator.net is actually 2 3/8 inches. So we're adding that to our measurement to get it more accurate. We have calculated the 13-inch depression in the bottom of our mold which gives us a 16 cubic inch discrepancy. So we are taking that into account with our calculation. I will be using this mold to fill in the inside of our PVC pipe as it's curing, so that water doesn't collect into this PVC pipe and we don't lose that water weight. It actually gets absorbed into and cures with the concrete. Ruling out that. And last but not least, actually following the directions of the concrete bag that says for a 60-pound bag of concrete to mix it with 2 quarts of water. So we will be using our measuring cup this time and adding in 8 cups of water to get to our 2 quarts. And if there is any discrepancy in the weight after that, it's unexplainable. So, attempt number 5, here we go. That's half the water we need. We're gonna dump in the full bag, and then we'll dump in 4 cups on top of that. Okay, there's still a little left in the bag. I'm gonna pour the water in, the extra 4 cups, and see what kind of consistency we have. 4. 8 cups of water, 60-pound bag of concrete. There's still probably maybe 5 pounds left in the bag there. I'm gonna mix that up and see what consistency we have, and we'll go from there. Hard to get down towards the bottom. Okay, so there's no way I'm going to be able to get to the bottom of this concrete while I'm mixing it in the bucket like this by hand. So I'm going to just kind of aim for this consistency throughout the concrete as I go down. Once it starts to get dry, I'll try and mix it up, get some of that water from the bottom of it flowing through it. But I'll start here. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to center my PVC pipe here, and I'm going to use this liquid latex rubber around the inside of it at the bottom to try and create a watertight seal. The only reason I'm using this is because I don't use this for anything, and I don't really have anything thick enough to keep the water from going in. I think Vaseline would probably be fine if you just made a circle of Vaseline around the bottom and shoved it down into the Vaseline, but again, this is the only thing I've got. That's the only reason I'm using it. You don't go out and buy this because you don't need it. Okay, so that should be good. I'm not going to put any of it on the outer edge because I don't want it affecting the concrete when it cures. I just want it to keep the water from going into the inside of that PVC pipe and us losing any kind of water weight that would have cured into the concrete bell through evaporation in there. Okay, so we're at a point right now where the concrete is kind of bubbling over this edge here. So got to get real careful now to not add too much at a time, but I do want to pack in as much as I possibly can just because of past experience where I didn't, and we'll lose that weight. So one thing that's good is that I'm not really seeing much, if any, water collecting down in the middle down there. That's a good thing. And we've kept the consistency of the concrete, what's suggested. So hopefully with everything that we've troubleshot up to this point, we're gonna get just about exactly 45 pounds on this weight plate. Okay, here we are 2 days later with attempt number 5. No water pooled into the middle of it because of that liquid latex that we put in there to help seal the edges. Again, you don't need liquid latex, anything, Vaseline, a hot glue gun, whatever it is, anything you can use to seal that bottom edge so water doesn't cup into the middle, it's gonna do the job. Okay, so it looks nice and clean. However, we know that that means absolutely nothing. What we care about is, did we get close to 45? Okay guys, we've completely filled it up to 2 and about 5/8 here. Our PVC pipe is 2 and 5/8. And you really want to make sure that it's totally flat along with that 2 and 5/8. If it's built up higher than that, you're going to get an extra 3 to 5 pounds if you pile it up higher than this PVC pipe out here. It's not going to cave in, but you're going to have added weight on the outside of the plate that's going to throw off your plate. So just scrape along the top until you've got it level. One thing that you could do is mark 2 and 5/8 with a tape measure before you actually fill it up, if you want to be extremely sure that you've got it right at the level you need it all across the plate. Okay, here we go. One last time, hopefully. We're gonna take it out, we're gonna weigh it, we're gonna cross our fingers. I am so certain that this is gonna be 45 pounds. We've eliminated every error in our calculation, every discrepancy that we didn't think of. I am so certain that this is going to be 45 pounds. Within a half pound is what I'm aiming for. So let's find out. It looks nice, it's nice and clean. But now for the real test, how much does it weigh? No way. No way. 45 exactly. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, you don't know how much of a relief that is. Alright, we did it. Oh my gosh. Wow. This was easily the most frustrating concrete weight project that I've done. Out of all those dumbbells, out of all the other plates that I've made, this was by far the hardest. And that was because of limits that I set on myself. I wanted to make this as replicable as possible so that anybody that's watching this that wants to make some 45-pound weight plates can follow these quick, easy steps and make this exact concrete weight plate. That was my goal. And I think I achieved that. It just took a long time to get there. So hopefully the errors that I made, you can avoid just by watching this video. But in the end, I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. I think I accomplished all the goals I was setting out for, which is one, making what looks like a legitimate 45-pound concrete weight plate. It looks really legit with this nice bevel here. It's got a nice clean face due to the plastic that it was curing in. It's nice and smooth and clean. We maintained thickness here, which was also one of my goals, which is why it's 16.5 inches instead of trying to get 17.75, which is what an Olympic plate is. I wanted to maintain this thickness to maintain the integrity and strength of the concrete in case you're dropping it during deadlifts or anything like that, which you really shouldn't be dropping concrete weight plates to begin with, but in case you are, it'll help, with stability and integrity and strength. So maintained that. The backside is not quite as clean, but we knew that going into it. Any part that's just drying in the air is not going to be quite as clean, so that's fine. I just wanted a side that looks legit, looks nice and clean, looks really close to a 45-pound weight plate. I can stack more weights on my bar now. I can stack more weights on my pulley system. So ultimately achieved all of the goals I was looking to achieve with this project, and I hope the errors that I made, the mistakes that I made, lead to a little bit of insight for you so that when you make this, you don't have to go through those same mistakes. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did enjoy watching this and you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because I'll be coming out with more DIY home gym videos in the near future, like making this DIY weight plate rack. Very simple, super effective. A couple more videos. So if you're interested again in any DIY home gym videos coming out, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.